right, guys, back here with another video. So you guys probably, if you've been paying any attention, I've shown you guys of a software that has been tested over 15 million shoes under stressful conditions. Go and look at some of the prior videos that I talk about that. And then I also showed a few examples of how it works. We win 8 out of 10 shoes per day based on the study and even based on actual play. We're actually playing this. It's not the, and we actually were playing it before, but this is under a whole new situation, a whole new way of management thanks to artificial intelligence. But what I want to do is just talk really briefly about some of the best practices, because no matter how good the stats are, there is process and order. Just like with any business, anything you're doing, you're running a household, you're managing a family, or whatever it is, there has to be a process and order. Okay, so one of the first thing I've often told folk is, number one, treat it as a business. If you don't know what a business is or how it works, Google it or ask a friend, what is a business and how do you treat something like a business, right? Have that mindset. But I want to talk really briefly of what AI has given me in terms of some best practices. All right, so right here it says discipline first, no deviations. This part right here is the most difficult part for anyone who comes into this environment, especially when you're given instructions. Or if you're going this big long winning streak, you tend to forget. You gotta stick to the point of the way these numbers work. You gotta stick exactly to them. If you even deviate off the numbers slightly, it will augment the results over time. So you gotta stay consistent. So it writes, this system only works if followed exactly. Skipping rules, chasing bets, adding personal hunches destroys the mathematical edge. We're not dealing in luck, hope, wishful thinking. We're dealing with mathematical edge. To assume and usurp this edge, you can't skip the rules. You can't chase bets. You can't add any of your own ideas, because your own ideas don't come with any math. They're just hunches, like this thing said. You can't do that. Number two, in discipline first, stay within the -3 unit max per shoe rule. This is one of the most, it's all important, but this is so important. Once you hit -3, the shoe is over. Never take one more shot. Even if, I'm up, I'm up. I've been up all week. I hit a -3. I've won 20 in a row. I think we've had one of our sessions, we won 56 shoes in a row. And I can go back on the on the chat, on the conversation, but one of them were 56. So let's say you won 25 in a row. You hit a -3. So what do you say? Well, man, I'm gonna take one more chance. You can't do that. Don't even start that kind of behavior. Okay. Again, if you can't follow rules, keep your day job if they should have you. Let's go to bankroll management, which is kind of what the discipline part is all about. Bankroll management. Always begin with a fixed bankroll and calculate units carefully. 1 to 2% of bankroll, compounding only after wins. This is a part of the rules. You got to stick within it. If your starting bankroll is more than 2%, you're out of alignment. It's only 2% max, 1%, 2%. You can go at 1%. If you have a small bankroll, 1%. If you have a large enough bankroll, 2%. Not that it matters. We've never blown a bankroll in any of our simulations over 15 million shoes. Okay, million, guys, not 1 million, not 2, like LeBron James, not 1, not 2, not 3, 15 million. We've never had a busted bankroll once. But this is all based on the math and the process. So stick to it. Respect the 8% daily cap. So as we progress, we will increase, we will compound after wins. But the maximum you should be in your minimum bet is 8% on a cap. Now, once you've made a certain amount of money, you can reduce this cap back down to 2%, 3%, but the compounding rule stops at 8%. All right. Now, with that said, can we go beyond that? Sure. But you run into a high risk of if you ever experience variance and you're at 8%, that's when you can thumb down, but you would never want to go beyond 8%. And again, even in all of our testing, when we went even beyond 8%, we never blew a bankroll once. Okay. But 8% is just a precautionary measure, but stick to the rules. Withdraw profits periodically so that growth isn't just on paper. So I had one guy had asked me, he says, if I make $10,000, I want to take 5. Will that stifle my growth? No. You know why? Because if you leave 5,000 in there, you're going to start another 30-day cycle starting at a $5,000 bankroll. By the end of that 30-day period, which typically you want to withdraw no later than 30 days, I would say, just depends on how many accounts you've got. If you have multiple accounts, you may not withdraw for 60 days, but that's something we'll get to based on what your goals are. And if you have significant goals, $1 million, you may need multiple accounts, and you will not be withdrawing on each account like every week or anything like that. But periodically you will. All right. But I often say come with multiple accounts so that you can take more money as you grow. But as you're taking money, trust me, your minimum bankroll, even if you took 5,000 and you were up to 10 and you left 5 in there, you will take that 5 to probably 30,000 in a month. Okay, because you're starting at 5. All right. Embrace the stop loss rules. This is all about money management, basically. Shadow Max is designed to survive variance by cutting losses quickly. It already said that. It reiterated it. And if you hit a -9 in a day pause, don't force recovery. And let's see here. I think, yeah, that's basically it. So if you hit this -9, it's typically, we've done simulations of -12 too. But -9, we have never hit a 9 or 12. All right. But if that should happen, we've never hit a 12. We might have hit a 9, but we've never hit a 12. We never lost a bankroll. But these rules, just stick to them. The edge comes from controlled exposure. So the way that we're attacking the game is what's also creating our edge. Track and review performance, just like any business. If you're not into this for the business of it, and you're not trying to track your performance, like it says, keep a log of daily results, how many wins, losses versus losing, units gained, blah, blah, blah. By tracking, you'll see the consistency of the 70 to 82% win rate emerge, which helps maintain confidence during short-term variance. So the thing is, you're going to experience some variances sometimes, and it may not come in a month, maybe even 2 months, but those variances typically last between a day and 3 days. Okay, when I first started programming this, the variances were as much as 144 days. But that's the reason why you test, and improve it. So now the variances are less than 3, on average, between 1 and 3 days. Meaning drawdown from the time you go down to the time you rise back up, 3 days on the variance side. Okay, and that doesn't mean you hit the daily stop loss. It just means that if, let's say, because you may have a day where you end up the day at -5. It's possible to end the day at -5, right? So you still have to come back tomorrow. And that time frame could be a day, 2 days, 3 days, I think on average at most, 1 to 3 days. Long term, this is a good one, long-term mindset. So no single, I didn't even read this, and it's actually kind of saying what I've been saying. No single day or shoe defines success. This is the reason why I don't do, can I test it out for 24 hours? Because that 24 hours is going to show me what's going to happen in the next 10 years. No. The data is what tells you what's going to happen in 10 years. That's the reason why I keep saying to you guys, fall in love with the data. Don't be a dumbass gambler. Oh, the money. Well, where did the money come from? Right? This is your business. Where did it come from? How did it evolve? How did it develop? You want to know that. So don't think of one single day. Like if you had a great week, a great month, Okay, that's good. Stick to the program. Think in 30-day, 90-day blocks, not individual sessions. That way you don't get mentally destroyed if you have a -5 day. Or even if you have a -9 or 12 day. You got to think like business. You can't open up your coffee shop and you didn't have success today and you say this is a failed coffee business. How dumb is that? No smart businessman thinks that way. You go into business with a long-term mindset. You don't go into thinking, I'm about to get all of the customers in my city to buy coffee today. That even sounds stupid, right? Well, you don't want to think that way here. Think in terms like business, 30-day, 90-day blocks. And then you have, of course, you'll have like when you come here, what we'll do is we'll go over what your goals are according to your bankroll. And then you will have a short-term goals to be defined. We'll be doing them by the day and the week. But we're not focused on the day or the week. We're focused on the 30-day, 30-day, like it says, 30 to 90-day blocks. Now, you're going to have success all through that, but you can't. Basically, what this is saying, think long-term, guys. Don't just think in one session, all right? Think in terms of the long game, the business of it. Expect streaks of losses, but trust the system's designed to recover over volume, all right? So you can have streaks of losses. Our losses are minimized. All right. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can just go here and just go and look at, I don't know. I have a lot of data that tells us the loss rate. Let's see. Drawdown duration. Okay, look here. It's a good one. Stat. Average largest drawdown in our long 15 million shoes was 9 to 15 units before recovery. Why it matters, low drawdowns protect mental discipline. So we don't have long drawdowns. Medium recovery time for drawdown, 2 to 5 days on regular play. Longest recovery, 9 days in stress test variance. All right, we're not even, so the stress test variance is assuming that every shoe we come into is built on some type of way that will destroy us. It's not built like that, okay? But we simulated this all under stress, all right? So under stress, 2 to 5 days on a variant. Like, remember, a day could end up at -3. So you could be in drawdown just on -3. So don't think of it as, 5 days, we're going to be down 50% of the... No, you won't be down any of that. As a matter of fact, what does this say? Drawdown percentage stacked. Average drawdown percentage of bankroll during growth phase, 2 to 4%. Extreme cases, 7%. What business will you be able to go into where you have these kind of stats? Type it in comments, because I'm sure a lot of my naysayers know better. They've got better math. They got better algorithmic systems and calculating systems better than AI. So please tell me, where can you find better numbers? All right, let's go back to where we were. I'm sorry, we went on a tangent. And I'm almost done. Let's see how much time I've got. I didn't mean to be this long. All right, let's go ahead and finish up. All right, so bankroll management, I think we talked discipline, brace the losses, track and perform, long-term mindset, avoid overplay. Casinos rely on fatigue and impatience to break players, so we don't have that problem because you only going to play 10. Just play by the rules, guys. All right, the rules are designed to keep you from overplaying. They're designed to keep you psychologically in check, okay? All of those things, the way that I've drilled this thing down by the numbers is designed with you in mind as a player, so that you don't overplay, so that you don't, oh God, we've lost today, things are done. No, I've built this to overcome the gambler fallacy, the gambling ignorance. Thanks to AI, because I didn't have all this before AI, okay? But thanks to AI, and what I love about AI, I'm able to compartmentalize it all like this. All right, so here's the bottom line. It says Shadow Max is more like a franchise business process than a gambling system. I hate the term gambling. Gambling is, the word gambling means doing things with your money that you have no mathematical litmus for. A gambling system means you have a system that you have no mathematical litmus for. But but when it comes to money and exchange, this is why it says this is more of a franchise business. The best practices are about consistency, strict rule following, managing bankroll, and mindset, as if you were running a financial firm. Permutationspro@gmail.com, guys. I think we're here breaking history right now. I think what I have here is historic. By the numbers, I think what I'm doing is historic, and you can actually play a part in that and make some money with me. And you'll be able to log in. You'll have your own terminal. You'll be able to log in 24 to 18 hours every day for as much as you want, as long as, when I say 12 to 24, so there's going to be times where we have to shut the computers off. There may be a couple days throughout the week where we shut them off, but at least 5 days out of the week, you'll be able to log in 12 to 18 hours a day. If you are one of those guys that like to play during the night and stuff like that, that's just something you let me know, or when you want the system to be on, it'll be available for you. Permutationspro@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much for listening. More great content, and hopefully, I'm not even in this for the content. I'm in here trying to build my team. This is not even about content. This is about building my team. But if you like the content, hey, I say try me out. Not even try me out. Think about what I'm doing, because when you do it, the numbers are not going to lie to you. So you got to be able to come here and be ready for business. Other than that, guys, thank you all so much for listening. I will be putting up more quote-unquote content as I grow along with this. Thank you guys again so much for listening. Permutationspro@gmail.com. If you'd like to be a part, send me that email and we'll go from there. Thank you guys again. Till the next time, take care.